This is Lab 1.12, zyLab training, the basics. A simple little lab that's main goal is to get us familiar with some of the features of the built-in integrated development environment, or IDE. This lab will essentially ask us to enter a file name. In this particular case, the file name is called hello.txt. In that hello.txt, we're going to write in some text, and it's going to say hello world. As you could see here in the center box, this is the text that we're going to put into the file. And the idea is when we run our program, we're going to enter a file name. When we enter that file name, the Java program is going to go read it. It's going to read the contents of it, and it's going to print it out onto the console. In the lab, you'll see there is a lot of code. We haven't talked about hardly any of this. We talked about a little bit of it in some of the week 1 summary stuff, but we're going to get into a lot more detail of it in the coming weeks. Don't worry too much about it right now, what all these statements mean. At a very high level, the import statements on lines 1 through 3 are pulling in extra bits of code from a Java library. The public class lab program on line 5 is the name of the program. On line 6, the public static void main line is telling us that this is the main piece of the program. This is where we're going to start our running our program from. You'll see scanner. We'll get into scanner quite a bit. Scanner is what allows us to read from the console and ultimately read from other files later in the class. And then we're going to also have some system.out.print statements, unlike here on line 21. And that's going to be our main piece of code to be able to display things on the console. And the console is right down here. It's just a window where we could get input and display the output from the program. Again, don't need to worry about what all this means. We will definitely be getting into the details of this as we go. Just for now, I just want us to get us familiar with running it. So right now, let's just try it. Let's just run the program. Haven't done anything yet. Let's see what it does. So right now it says it's preparing the environment. Let me scroll down a little bit. And now we're at a blinking cursor. So not knowing anything about what's going on here, I look at the program and I see it's asking for input. That's what this scanner is doing here on line 10 and on line 13, on line 16, line 17, etc. It's asking us to read the name of a file from the console so the Java program can then go open that file and read the contents. Well, the program isn't very well written. I see it's telling me right now console is waiting for input. In general, if you're going to write a program that's going to ask somebody to input something, you probably should put a statement in there and actually ask them what you're asking for. So I know we're looking for a file called hello.txt. And that's what it set up in the instructions. So I'm going to type in hello.txt and hit return. And I get a big chunk of stuff. These are the error messages in Java. Again, we'll get into error messages in much greater detail later on. But the short answer for this one, and you can probably see it right away, file not found exception. No such file or directory, hello.txt. And that's true because, well, we never created the hello.txt as it asked us to do up here in the beginning steps. We just ran the program to see what it would do, and it failed miserably. So let's fix it. First we need to do is we need to create our hello.txt file. And we can do this in the IDE by clicking this little paper icon. When you hover over it, it says Files. If I click over it, you'll see we have our one program, labprogram.java. You'll see it over here on the right, labprogram.java. In this particular case, it's a read-only file, meaning we can't change it. This is for demonstration purposes. So it's only in your real labs, this will be editable, obviously. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to do anything. So we're going to create a new file. You can see you have a plus to create a file. You have a folder to create a folder. We don't need to create a folder for this one. And if you wanted to upload or download a file or a project, you can use those two icons on the right to either upload or download as necessary. But for this particular case, we're going to type in hello.txt, create a new file, and there it is. We created our file. Now, to be able to edit this file, we need to click on it, and you see it opens up here on the right. It creates our new file, hello.txt, and we can type in the text that we wanted to. And you could see up here it is asking us to type in hello world, which is pretty much the standard first program every computer science student writes in any language. So we'll continue with that tradition here. And there's hello world. You see over here on the right it says saving. Oh, it went over here pretty quick, but you saw it said saving. It automatically saves the changes to your files. So you don't have to worry about losing your work if you didn't save it. It does it automatically for us. So we can now move this back to the left and right to see more console window as necessary. We can move this up and down a little bit to get more console window. We can move this up and down a little bit to see more console window. Make us be able to see what we're working on a little bit easier. But I think we've done what the lab has asked us to do now. So let's give it a try again. We'll go back to our program. We'll click Run. And we'll scroll down to our console window, and you see it's been cleared out. And it's asking us for a file name, even though it doesn't really ask us for a file name. It is waiting for it, so we'll type in hello.txt. And sure enough, it printed back out hello world. It read that file from the disk, gave us their input, and we were able to get our output into the console. Very simple example of how it works. If we wanted to, we can simply go back into the text file, and we can add some more to it if we want. We could type in whatever we want. Java is cool, and we'll type that in, and it'll save it for us. And if we run our program again, and again, it's not going to ask us for the file name, and we type it, and there it is. It printed it again. You'll notice it skipped that line 2 because it was a blank line. That just has to do with how the file is being read line by the program. Again, we'll deal with that much later on in the class. So, if you were done with your lab, and we can clean it up to get it back to the way it was. If I run it again, you'll see the console cleared out. We type our file name. There's our output. So if we're happy with it, we think we're good, we can come down here and we can click Submit for Grading. And this is how you're going to submit your work. Click the Submit for Grading button. It's doing some analysis of your program, your text. It's running your program for output. And you'll see a score come up. In this case, total score is 3 out of 3. Can't get better than 3 out of 3. Everything's great. Your code is very good. If something was wrong, you got 1 out of 3 or 2 out of 3 or, God forbid, 0 out of 3. You'd want to go back into your code and fix it and see what's going on, and it will tell you what fails. So let's go make a mistake in here. Let's leave out the exclamation point and run it again. And again, we type our file name. And we think we're good, looks good. We don't notice that the exclamation point is missing. So we click Submit for Grading, and it'll give us the analysis of how we did. Just a second. 0 out of 3. Okay, did not like it. Did not like my output. And you can see it tells you and highlights what is wrong. Output differs. See highlights above. And you'll see it's highlighting that we're missing the exclamation point. So, like I said earlier, if you run your program and you don't see the answer you expect, zyLabs is very particular about whitespace, which we discussed earlier in a different video. Whitespace is, as a reminder, whitespace is the spaces and tabs between words in programs. It's very particular about how it wants its output. It must match character by character. In this particular case, it's missing the exclamation point. So we would want to go back. We would want to go fix the exclamation point. We'd want to go fix our file. We would put an exclamation in here. And we could run it again and check our output. again, asking for a file. Come back down, submit for grading. Back to 3 out of 3. We're doing great. We could see the code. You can get a little of analysis on here. Not that exciting. But there you go. You can use this to test your code. You should be using zyLabs to test your code. And a big reason of why I want you to, and I require you to use zyLabs for coding is I can see the effort you're putting into it. I can see the code changes you make as you change your code. And if you do get stuck at a point, I have easy access to the code and I can make suggestions for you into your lab and send it back to you. So it'll make it a much, much easier thing for us to do when we're doing an online class like this. So that's pretty much it for Lab 1.12. Feel free to refer to this. Essentially, if you follow what I did, you'll get a good grade on this lab. That's all there is to it. Okay, have fun with it, and I'll see you next time.